So there's just energy. Energy is nothing being everything. That's what's appearing to be. Sounds, sensations, thoughts, emotions, all simply energy. Just simply energy. That's all there is. Boundless, unknowable energy. And in boundless, unknowable energy, there appears to be a contracted sense of feeling separate, a separate person who has a life in life. And so what's being shared here is the suggestion that actually that sense of being a separate person is artificial. There never was a separate you. It never started even. It's a it's a lived sense in the body of feeling in the body and looking out on the world, and that you have a life, and when you have a life you can do something with it. You're the agent, you're the managing director, and you control what happens in your life, more or less. There's some things outside of your control and other things in your control, and there are other people then, and you interact with them and they have a life as well. Your life starts and it ends when you die, and things happen to you along the way and other people. And that's the way it seems. It seems absolutely real. It's not an idea, it's a lived reality. Um, so the suggestion here from nothing is that actually there's only energy, and this is nothing appearing to happen. So it's completely beyond knowing. The isness that's being pointed to here cannot be known, it cannot be described, and yet it is absolutely ordinary and obvious. It's just already whatever appears to be. So we'll see what happens. If there's a question, it's there to be asked. Nothing being asked of anybody. Ask a question, don't ask a question. You're not doing any of it because you're already not there.
Hi, Kenneth.
Oh yeah.
What is awareness? What is awareness?
It's something the person has. Awareness, aware of something. So it's a subject object. There's a sense of me and there's a sense of something else, and awareness arises in that separation as a feature of knowing. So the person,
So,
when they feel
knowing,
they are separate, they live in their own knowing, and they think that they feel that the world is knowable. and they know whatever they know of it, and a part of that knowing is awareness, and it feels really something mysterious and special to it, and it's actually just an aspect of feeling like a separate person.
So everybody has knowing, like animals, whoever.
No, there's
It,
they don't really. Animals just are. They don't know that they are, I would say, for the most part.
yeah,
So it's humans then have
yeah,
this sense of awareness that they think makes them special, that they know that they know. So that what's being suggested is actually that's just a feature of the sense of you being separate, is the sense that you know that you know.
yeah. So the dogs and other animals knowing, their knowing is different. Like they know that there is a food, like there is a like there is somebody chasing them. They have
There's
that sort of knowing.
they just are. They just there's just whatever's appearing to happen for animals. You would say there's not that sense of being separate, it seems.
But they
So
know when they,
there's not that sense of um, um, existential angst then, and wondering what it's all about, because they don't feel that, they're not separate to know it. They're just a dog is being a dog, a cat's being a cat, and that's what's appearing to happen.
so, but when they are given food, they know what to eat. Like if they don't like, they like some food, but not the other food.
Yeah, that's what appears to
So they,
happen. So what you're doing then is you're putting, or what we do then is we put a sense of the dog needs to know in order to know that he likes this food rather than this food. That knowing is like what we do is in the very same way that because we add the person to everything, we feel that it wouldn't happen without the person. So the person is there to decide that they like this food and don't like this food, and if the person wasn't there, everything would just fall into this big soup of nothingness. And what's being shared here already is there is no person already. So what appears to happen is enjoying this type of food and not enjoying this type of food. It doesn't require a you, and there is no you there anyway. That's just what happens. It's just what appears to happen. Or doing this sort of activity, enjoying this activity, not enjoying this activity. The person feels, well, I'm choosing to do this activity and I like it, I enjoy it. I don't like this one, and that's why I avoid it. And actually, that's just what appears to happen. Is there's preferences appear, a draw to one thing or another appears. It doesn't require a person.
yeah, it doesn't require a person, but 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 do we need sort of
But
like a do we need a knowing? Do we need a knowing to do those things? Like
well,
I
clearly not.
I was listening to this.
I've just said that's what I've just been saying.
Yeah,
If you hear what I'm saying, like you feel
yeah,
as
I
a
know, I know.
person that you need a knowing to do the things because you feel that you're doing
Mm,
them.
mm,
So
mm.
you feel that you're driving the car, that you're sitting on the Zoom meeting, that you're speaking, and that none of this would happen without you. That's what generally, I'm talking in general terms, that's how the
Yeah, yeah,
person
yeah,
feels. And what's
yeah,
been
yeah,
shared is there's already
yeah,
no you. It's already the case that you're not
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
So why would it be required then?
yeah, yeah,
How could it be required if it's not even happening?
yeah,
So what happens is it's an addition of me
yeah,
to
okay, yeah,
everything. So the person says, I'm sitting on my chair watching the computer screen. I'm speaking at the
yeah,
Zoom meeting, or I'm listening at the Zoom meeting, or I logged on to the Zoom meeting and I log off. And then I'll go about my day, right? And the suggestion here is you don't have a day, and there's no you
yeah,
that's
yeah,
going
that,
about anything, and there's no Zoom
yeah, that,
meeting even. It's all just an appearance, and there's just what's appearing to happen, and that can resonate. That can just
yeah,
be obvious. It's very obvious. You see, that's the problem. It's too obvious. It's so obvious that it's continually
yeah,
overlooked. You're not
yeah,
speaking there. There's just
yeah,
speaking,
yeah,
and this is
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
immediacy,
That
the
part is
isness
clear.
that's
Yeah,
been spoken of.
yeah. I was listening to this talk by Muji, and he was talking about the awareness.
Yeah.
He was talking about awareness, like it is on top of the like me thing. Me
Yeah,
thing
I
is
mean, but
below
like,
and
if you
aware.
want to talk about him,
No,
that
I don't want to.
communication
No, no, no,
doesn't
no. I
come.
don't want to compare that. And it's same
It's
like
it's
in
totally, so
yeah,
loads of people say loads of different things, especially in the realm of under non-duality and
yeah.
slash spirituality, and it's nothing to do with what's been shared here, because they're
Mm,
speaking to
mm, mm,
somebody
mm.
and they offer them all sorts of prescriptive ideas about using consciousness awareness, readying the self, searching for the inquiring to see that there is no self. The list goes on and on and on and on and on, and I've no, it doesn't
Mm.
matter. It's just what appears to happen, but it's obviously just speaking to somebody. I mean,
Okay,
that's why
thanks. Okay.
the awareness one is so popular in those realms, because the person does feel, what is this mysterious awareness? Like, I'm aware that I'm aware.
Mm,
I know that I know.
mm.
Um, so it's very seductive then when people start speaking about it in
Yeah,
those
yeah,
ways of, all you have to do is expand your awareness, do whatever, and it feels like there's, and then if there's a sense that there is something in that, there'll be a draw to it, and it will, it's a feedback system. Everything is a feedback system. It's all loops. And that
yeah,
sense of,
yeah,
then there'll be, oh, there's a person called whoever who knows something, he's a teacher, I'm the student, and I'm getting something out of it. And there's a real sense of getting something out of it, and that'll appear to happen
yeah,
till it doesn't. There's
yeah,
nothing on
yeah,
offer here. There's nothing on
yeah.
offer, because there is nothing to get. There's nothing to know. There's nowhere to get, and there's no you to get there.
Yeah. Like
So,
yeah, I go through fluctuation. So there is a period that nothing matters, no need to know. And then comes a period, something missing.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
start. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Kenneth.
Hey, Laura, hiya.
Hey. I was just hearing you. Do you have hay fever or a little kind of
Yeah,
flu?
just a little bit with my voice. I know I'm okay. I'm feeling okay.
Oh, that's
A
good.
little bit hoarse, yeah.
Uh,
Kenneth. Hello,
Hi.
Kenneth. Hello, mate.
Hey, how's it
Uh,
going?
all right, Chris. Yeah, I'm not Sue. Sue's at work. My wife's at work, mate. So, Chris.
Okay, didn't sound like Sue.
No, no, mate.
Hi,
uh, Kenneth,
Chris.
it's just fascinating. Laura left a video on there, and she got up and she started doing things around the kitchen. And now it just sort of dawned on me, well, Laura's not actually doing that. She's not going through them actions.
No.
You know, it's just something really profound happened there in the, them few seconds I was watching.
Yeah, that's the way it can be. Um, it can just be, well, it's always sudden because there is no time, actually. The time is an appearance. So it's always just a sudden scene,
Yeah.
and often in the most mundane things. Like so you're just looking a certain way, and you maybe scratch your face, and
Yeah.
then it's, oh my god, I didn't just do that. Like I didn't do that. That just appeared to happen. For instance, I'm just picking a random example.
So, yeah,
Are
yeah,
you the one you gave there? You're looking. There's a screen,
yeah.
and there's nobody in there that's doing that. There's just body moving, and
Yeah.
it's all an appearance anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was just the fact that I've seen someone else doing this, going through these motions,
Yeah,
this body moving and, go to the sink and moving things around. And
yeah, yeah,
something really profound sort of struck me there and then.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
the way it. That's the way it is. Really, it's very and also this has been shared, but it's I say over and over again that there's no Zoom meeting
Sure.
really. So when there's an openness to what's being suggested here, it's just at any time it could just be seen anytime. It's not as if it's not as if there's something kind of available here and then it's over and then you're not back to anything
Oh,
because there's always just energy, and there's always an invitation there. There's a bit of a story when you say that, but there's always just nothing being everything,
yeah.
and that's just boom. It's just obvious.
Yeah. It was those I was seeing myself there then. I could go to my kitchen in a moment and go through the same motions.
Yeah,
There was a detachment, and I'm seeing, these eyes are seeing this body on a screen going around, going through motions.
yeah.
Bloody hell. I get, yeah, it was powerful. Oh, I
Yeah,
don't want to say realization of it, but something struck there really. To see it objectively, to see something
yeah,
unfold, to see a person alive moving around suddenly on the screen there.
yeah.
Without them not actually being there, without them not doing it. Even
And
before,
man, that's always the way it is.
sure,
Actually,
yeah,
it's always just energy. It's always just nothing being everything. And the lived reality we feel of feeling like a person who's looking at another person
mm,
who's doing something in that causal reality in time is one thing after another is completely artificial. It's only an appearance, that's all.
Yeah.
So it's already the case that there's just what's appearing to happen. There's just energy. And then people say, oh, I'm a person. And then you go, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
That's fine. I mean, that's why there can't be any agenda with a clear message, because there's already nobody anyway. So who is there to liberate when all there is liberation?
Liberation, but it's not known.
No, it's beyond knowing. Any knowing is just the person. It's so immediately just you to know it requires a step back from it, and that's the the simulation of me, the story of me, that is this simulates this reality in which I know it, and it's really happening, and it's happening in time and space.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. I thought it was a Boy Named Sue scenario there.
Well, I was thinking that the old Johnny Cash song. I was like, sing the old Johnny Cash song there, mate.
That's very sweet for sharing, because I always I don't know, I had this intuition, like always this focus sitting in front of a screen is somehow, I don't know, so I felt like, well, I'm not having sex, so I can let the camera be going on. So it's so sweet that this is like what that you recorded this.
What happens is it's there's just what's appearing to happen. So even this in a meeting, say an actual meeting, what some people see sometimes is that they stand up and they walk out of the meeting. What's quite remarkable is very obvious that there actually is no meeting that they've walked out of. This has happened a lot. This happened to me, and obviously it didn't happen to me, but you know what I mean. You walked out, and I walked into the lobby, and then I walked outside, and then I walked down the road to a park, and it was stunning. And what was stunning was I hadn't walked away from anything, and I wasn't walking back to anything, because all there was energy. And energy, lobbies, roads, parks, meetings, whatever. It's totally and utterly inescapable what's looked for, because it's simply aliveness. And then that's the beautiful thing is there's just this sharing that is boundless and unknowable, and when it resonates, that can just be seen, that there's no meeting, there's no Kenneth, there's just this, it's inescapable.
Exactly.
It cannot be found, because it's already all that is, and it cannot be lost or escaped from, because it's already all that is.
Yes. Exactly. and you can't squeeze it like that. There is some kind of, also like these, how do you say that, these social shared agreed upon standards, like, oh, you're not allowed to leave the room, like somehow this is like, it's beautiful that there is this openness that the body can just get up and
totally. Like sometimes what I've also seen, I've seen the opposite of that. Then I had a situation where someone actually put their hand up and said, is it okay if I leave? And I just felt, oh sweetie, come on, please, like, you know, it's just so, like, why are you asking me, is it okay if you leave? You know, and sometimes actually for a while then I was like, almost getting it in there. Like, it's okay if you leave. It's okay if you stand up. It's okay if you walk away. But that's, I suppose, and I guess also that people, there's just kind of the story of the way things are, and then people, that's just the way it is. Then people feel they might offend or whatever. So it's no big
Yeah,
deal either. But it's
yeah,
funny though. In one way, it's like this sense of authority then, that I need to behave in such a way, or this is the meeting should be a certain way, or whatever. They're just all
yeah.
ideas. Yeah, all doesn't
Interesting.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So yeah. Hi, Dario.
I I was wondering, like, how is it possible that I can ignore the meaning of this message again and again, and then come back and pretend like there's something here that I could get, and then
Because this isn't being spoken to you. It's just a sharing, and the sense of being a you, being a person, just plays out like it plays out. So, it makes something of this, or it tries to understand it, or it um, knows it in various ways, or engages with it conceptually, or accepts it, or rejects it, or whatever. And that's just what's appearing to happen. It doesn't matter at all. So that's just that whole energy of feeling like a you, and what's being shared here has nothing to do with you at all. So it doesn't matter at all whether you think you know it, or don't know it, are clear about it, are confused about it. None of that matters at all. It's just that there can be an opening, or a resonance to what's been said, and then
the resonance sometimes sounds hopeful, but
yeah,
not.
when you say it but the difficulty is, you see, the person is going to personalize everything and see everything as a carrot. So whatever terms are used, they will see everything as some sort of hopeful thing, that, oh, maybe I'll get it. Maybe I'll fall away. Do you know what I mean? The thing that people hear this and they kind of get to know it, and then they have this story that, well, I'm still here, but maybe in this meeting I'll fall away, or in this residential I'll fall away, or but and what's continually been said is you're not there to fall away, so there will be no falling away, because there's already just what's appearing to happen.
Thank you.
It's beyond the mind. So
I heard these sentences like millions of times. So.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You never heard it. There is no millions of times. There's just what's appearing to happen. Hi, Dimitri.
I cannot. Would you say that time feels so real primarily because there is a feeling of someone in time, and otherwise it's just like apparent time?
Yeah, oh, totally, absolutely. Time and space and causality. Like, causality and time for me they're very, and there is a lot of people who say that it's actually just the same thing. You're actually talking about the same thing, causality and time, and space is just another aspect of that. They are all absolutely real when I'm absolutely real, and they're a feature of things happening to me. So things in that causal way, one thing after another after another. So that's that linear lived reality that we have, we really do feel like there's a past behind us and we're moving into the future. And there's this really lived sense of causality and sequential happenings. You know, that's the way it is. So when that sense of being separate just isn't there, it's indescribably different, and it's also the same. And the reason it's the same is all of that was just an artificial layer anyway, and there's just then what's appearing to happen. So there's still, 9 o'clock, 9 a.m., and there's still all of that, and logging on to computer at 9 a.m. or I collect the kids at this time. But it's a function in the story. It isn't a real independent thing. And really it's because you are not a real independent thing anymore. So when you're not a real independent thing, and you're not, that felt reality of feeling separate, that lived reality isn't there, then all of these other things just collapse. As does, say, meaning, for instance. Meaning just completely goes, because it's very clear that meaning is just something that's woven into the story. It's the mechanism by which the story is woven together, because it's the gathering of the information that's significant, and the information that's not significant is assigning it some sort of meaning. And then when there's no longer a sense of being a person, there's just everything is just an appearance as it is. It doesn't need any meaning.
Sometimes it's just so obvious that, like, in one moment I can be like, oh, like struggling, like I need to do this, and like how I will do this, and then sometimes it's just suddenly like reflecting, like, oh my God, I just went outside to the store, talked to this person, and there was like no one doing that.
Yeah. That's the way it is. Yeah. When it's obvious, and when it isn't, it isn't. It's actually what's been shared here for the last little while is too obvious. That's the problem. It's too open and already the case and obvious for the person. So the person wants complex, and it lives in this hopeful energy. It is this hopeful energy of something better. So it's just continually rejecting what's actually being looked for. It's just simply this. It's too obvious and open.
Thanks.
Thanks. Hi, this and that.
Hey, good day. Cheers, Kenneth and everybody. So let's see. I know there's no understanding with this, and whatever I'm saying is just kind of blah 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 blah. But it seems like all these different characters, all these different images here. This image is speaking to other images, trying to grab other imaginary knowledge that doesn't exist, other images. And then I go about, this image goes about its day talking to other images, maybe even having images of children. But the whole thing is just, everything's just image of apparent change and apparent trying to become a better image or a worse image, but it's just complete image. It's just imagination, zero-ness. But behind it is just kind of seeing this for, it seems a little easier to see it on the screen because it seems less real. If I was there in person, maybe it would appear more real, but ultimately it's just, everything's just imaginary.
Yeah, it's a story. Everything is a story, you could say, as opposed to, it's not a story when you're a person, it's a real happening, because I'm real and I'm meeting other real people and things are really happening. So there's a living in the real for the person. But it can be seen that actually this is and isn't, it's nothing being everything. So you could say in one way that it's real and unreal, which is beyond the mind then. But it's
right.
Or it's real in its appearance, that's all. So it's the same as it was when you feel like a person. It's the same, but it's indescribably different also, because as you said, you're not, the subject-object reality just collapses, and it's not really another person, you know, and different people and separate this and that. That's all just a story. It's all a story. There's just energy. It's indescribable. You can't describe it. Nobody's ever been able to describe it, and it's just very ordinary.
Yeah, because there's no one that's ever real. There's no reality here.
No, there's only the appearance of well, everyone is just simply in their own reality anyway. That's all it is, you know. There is no independent reality, obviously.
Right.
But in the game there is an independent reality, and are in the reality, in the shared reality, there's this kind of shared reality which people say, well, let's all agree that this is reality, but that's also just part of the story.
Right.
Yeah.
So that makes a good actor, because you're not aware that it's all just appearances. It's just like a cosmic joke.
There's just a really felt feeling of being separate. It's not an idea. It's a really felt contracted sense that you are a person.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a concept. Like, some people talk about the sense of being a person. Oh, it's just an idea and it's just a concept. So just understand that you're not there. And all that is just getting on it, just taking another concept, because feeling like a person is a cellular reality for you, because you really do. There's a lived, contracted sense of being in the body looking out on the world. And it is that way until it isn't. And then when it isn't, it's seen that was actually just an energetic appearance. So it wasn't even real. So it's in that way then that there is no real you that's going to fall away.
Right. Because there's never such thing. Never can be any such thing.
No. It's just an appearance. It's something that appears to happen.
Yeah, fascinating. Great talk. But Laura doing her thing too, and Sue's input that looks like a man. All helps.
Well, you just don't know what's going to appear to happen, do you?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter whatever name's there.
No, but this is the amazing thing is it can be very obvious in these sharings. These sharings are nothing to do with Kenneth at all. Nothing whatsoever. Yeah. Kenneth's just a character. Right. But when it's a clear sharing from nothing, and it could be another character, doesn't matter. It's just, it can be very obvious that there's just, this is nothing appearing to happen.
Right,
It's
right,
just
right.
very
right.
obvious. It's just, there's just what's appear. It's just an appearance. And if it's not obvious, it's not obvious.
Yeah, it seems very obvious right now. It's almost like I woke up to this dream.
Yeah. And then there's just what appears to happen. So then there'll
Right.
either be a sense of being a you or there won't. And that's just what would appear to happen too. So like what's being shared here is that actually what we think as feeling like a person, that we're yearning for something, and that's something we all search for in different ways, whether it's a lot of power, money, sex, religion, spiritual enlightenment, whatever it is, you know, it doesn't matter what it is. We think that if we get that, then we'll be there. And states of mind, you know, experiences, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And what's been shared here is that actually what's being yearned for is simply just already what's appearing to happen. It's totally inescapable and unknowable, and just already this. It's incredible.
Yeah, because the sense of me is it's an image, but it thinks it's something. So it's seeking something, but it can't. It's all
Yeah,
in.
it's a story. It's a story. You know, you could call it various things: a simulation, a story, this, or
Yeah,
that. It
yeah,
doesn't really matter. But
right,
it's the contrasting that with the sense that it's an actual real. You are a real, really separate person who has choice. All of these things. And that's what the world is feeding you. You see, because it's a continual feedback mechanism, and in that feedback mechanism, you will be confirmed in the world that you are a person who has a life. So, and there's all sorts of authorities that will tell you that is the case. So that's
right.
the way. And then this then is a very rare communication that offers nothing really, but it offers a suggestion that actually you are not, that there's just what's appearing to happen, and then
Yeah,
there's either an openness or a resonance with that, or there isn't. You know, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
right, right. Wow. Cheers. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Andy.
Hey, Kenneth. Um, So what would you say is, what would you describe paradise as? What do you think that is?
I think paradise is a concept that people have, and that is invariably without any discomfort, pain, or anything bad. So it's all the positive. It's an idea that people have. So this you could say is actually paradise, or in the same way that people describe heaven. So there is no paradise. There's just what is and isn't, is nothing being everything, and is all embracing of whatever. It's just whatever appears to be, is whether that's something that is pleasurable or painful. So it's the falling away of that dichotomy of hell and heaven and paradise and whatever. We would say paradise's opposite is.
Yeah.
So the person has an idea, because the person is dualism. There's this continual sense of good and bad and right and wrong, and continual kind of comforting of the self, of pulling in pleasure and pushing away pain. And there's a sense that I can maximize the comfort to a point of paradise, and paradise would be that nothing bad will ever happen then. And all of that then is just the play of opposites. That's all it is. And it can be seen that can totally collapse, and it's seen that discomfort is actually it as much as comfort. And then that's liberation then, because it doesn't matter then whatever appears to be happening is.
It's very seductive though, isn't it? The idea.
Paradise.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, everything there's whatever is seductive to you, because there's a real sense of unworthiness and a real sense of missing something as a person. So there will be what will be seductive to one person won't be to another, and so on. But there'll be something that will get that feedback sense in, of a sense that, okay, this is what, and then there's all of this striving then to get somewhere, and it's always around the next corner then. And there's a sense that even maybe in that, a sense of arriving, but it'll be temporal as well, and then it'll be around the next corner again, and so on. So whatever seduces you is the thing that seduces you based on the way but all of that goes back to a sense of unworthiness, from a sense of feeling like a separate you who's lost everything. So everything has been lost because there's me now and everything else. And it's a simple suggestion here is that actually nothing has been lost, because there is all that really appeared to happen was something was gained, and the thing that was gained is artificial. The thing that was gained is the you, the sense of being you. That's the long answer. The short answer is paradise is a Zoom meeting with Kenneth Madden on a Wednesday morning, I guess. I got a nice laugh there on Laura. She nearly fell off her seat.
Boom.
Oh God. Oh.
Well, that's cleared it up anyway. Thanks.
Yeah.
No.
Now you know, Andy. Listen, thanks very much. Lovely to see you. I'll see some of you later, I guess. Maybe. Who knows? All right, guys. Take care.
Okay, Kenneth. Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers, Kenneth.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Bye.
Thank you, Kenneth.